So, if you've been on this ride with me for a while, you already know the importance of proper training. You're already being more mindful about food and eating better, and maybe you're experimenting with some of the supplements we've talked about along the way. So, the fourth and final piece of the puzzle is sleep. It can be your superpower, or it can be quietly sabotaging those other three elements. The fact is that our sleep architecture has changed. If you're over 50 and you're waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning staring at the ceiling, maybe watching this video, you're not alone. When I do my initial consult with clients, one of the first questions I ask about is sleep. And what I hear more often than not is, I fall asleep fine, I just can't stay asleep. Or I sleep, but I wake up tired. And most of the time they say that falling asleep never used to be a problem. So here's the real physiology of it, what actually happens, and what quietly makes it worse. The thing is that as we age, cortisol, our stress hormone, stays higher longer, telling your body to stay alert. And the reality is that we literally can't sleep until that level gets low enough. Here are the top reasons for why sleeping gets trickier after 50. First of all, melatonin doesn't release as easily as it used to, and as the years pile on, your body's natural sleep signal through melatonin starts getting lazy. It used to kick in reliably when the lights went down, helping you drift off smoothly. Now it trickles out weaker, so even when you're exhausted, your brain doesn't get a clear message that it's time to shut down. It's more like a dimmer switch that got stuck halfway. You never fully get that ready for sleep signal inside your head. As a side note, supplementing with melatonin can help, but it's not magic fix. The benefits are usually modest rather than dramatic and sort of helpful, but meh. And as we age, our blood sugar can dip while we sleep, and that lower sugar alert jolts your system awake, like an internal low battery warning light flashing. Your brain panics and says, "Get up, get me some sugar." So you wake up, usually craving a snack. So then the next one ties right back into this blood sugar problem. So there was a time when you could eat whatever you wanted and bounce back. But with age, if we don't exercise, comes sarcopenia, which is just a fancy way of saying we lose muscle mass little by little, year by year. And muscle is our body's main glucose sponge. It soaks up sugar from our blood and then it gives it back to us steadily. But less muscle means a smaller sponge or a smaller gas tank, and you run out of blood sugar at night. Then there's stress. Stress tends to stay on our minds longer. This one is a sneaky one because those worries and that endless mental replay of your day, they don't fade as quickly as they used to. In younger years, you could just sort of shrug off the day's drama. But now, what should I have done differently kind of loop starts to stick with you, keeping your brain buzzing when it should be powering down. It's like your mind has a longer cool down period. The same thoughts are going to tend to spin longer, pumping out just enough stress hormone to keep you from falling asleep, or making it harder for you to fall back to sleep. Then there's alcohol. Alcohol hits back much harder than it used to. You know that glass of wine that once helped you unwind? Well, it's turned on you. Alcohol might knock you out quicker at first, but as we age, our body clears it from our system much more slowly. So the rebound hits harder. More fragmented sleep, more wake-ups, less restorative sleep, your tolerances drop, and suddenly one late-night drink can steal much more than it's given to you. There are some grounded, realistic levers, like a consistent wake time, earlier last meal, magnesium, and there are also some simple calming routines that aren't too woo-woo. They're just that tell your nervous system how to stand down. And here's the part that people underestimate. Poor sleep makes you feel fragile. Everything feels harder. Your workouts feel heavier. Your motivation feels thinner. Little problems feel bigger than they really are. And when you sleep better, everything feels more manageable. Sleep is not passive. It's actually the doorway to recovery. And we don't help ourselves. Scrolling at night, mental stimulation, one more email, one more video, one more headline. You're telling your nervous system it's still game time. Think about this. Every single day, we spend about 8 hours completely unconscious. That's a full third of our lives just out. So an average lifespan, say 75 years, that adds up to roughly 25 years spent asleep. But here's the interesting part. Sleep is not wasted time. It's the doorway to where your body and your brain do some of their most important work. So sleep isn't just one long unconscious block. It's made up of stages, and you cycle through them throughout the night. REM sleep is when you're dreaming. It's when your body repairs. It does memory consolidation, and it resets your hormones. And it gets cut short by early waking or by interrupted sleep. Then there's deep sleep. It's when physical repair and muscle recovery happen. When your stress is high, deep sleep gets lighter. And when deep sleep suffers, you're not getting the same quality of repair. When we were younger, we spent more time in deep sleep and we stayed there longer. So if that doorway is jammed, everything piles up behind it. The good news is this is fixable, and you don't have to fix it perfectly. You just have to stop fighting your biology and start working with it. Now I know that I sleep lighter, I wake up easier, and it takes a lot less to knock me off course. My body just doesn't shut down as cleanly as it used to. So I have learned that I can't leave it to chance. It means I have to be more intentional. There are levers we can pull. The goal after 50 isn't just to sleep like a teenager. It's sleeping well enough to recover, to think clearly, and to show up. And that's absolutely possible. A lot of what's happening with sleep after 50 is that your internal clock isn't as forgiving as it used to be. You've probably heard of the circadian rhythm, which is basically your body's built-in schedule. It's kind of like a traffic light. The green light is when you're supposed to be awake, yellow light is when you should start to wind down, and red light is the time to sleep. But as we get older, that clock gets more sensitive to things like light, food timing, stress, stimulation, which means things that you used to be able to get away with, like late dinners or scrolling in bed or inconsistent waking times, they now come back to bite you at 2 or 3 in the morning. We lose the yellow light. So what kind of things actually help? One of the simplest fixes is magnesium, not because it knocks you out, but because it helps your nervous system stand down. As we get older, we burn through magnesium much faster. There's stress, training, caffeine, alcohol, they all deplete it. So if cortisol is staying high at night, magnesium can help lower the volume just enough for sleep to take over. If you want to know more about magnesium, the reasons we're low on it, and the dosing, I've got a full video on that. I'll link it below. But just understand this. It's a support tool. It's not a sleeping pill. It's not a substitute for good sleep habits. Second is a consistent wake time. Not a bedtime, but a wake time. Your body learns to start the daily clock rhythm from when you get up. Third would be an earlier last meal. Late meals keep your blood sugar active when they should be dropping. This is one of the biggest 3 a.m. wake-up triggers that there is, which is where actually intermittent fasting shines. 4 is light management on both sides of sleep. Morning light exposure. Maybe have your shade slightly up in the morning so that the sun can come in and trigger your brain. Dim your lights at night. Stop scrolling TV screens with your volume up, the laptops, the phones. They all tell your eyes that the day is not over yet. Try to wind down at the same time every night. And 5, naps are a great tool. Aim to keep them short though. 30 minutes is the sweet spot. Long enough to refresh without going into deep sleep. Time it right. Early to mid-afternoon leaves plenty of hours before bed for you to rebuild your sleep drive. And set it up intentionally. Use an alarm to wake back up. So if this video did anything at all, I hope it helped you realize that sleep needs to become more intentional. It needs to become something you protect, not something you just squeeze in. And the payoff is real. Better sleep makes training feel lighter, decisions feel clearer, and life just feel more manageable. You don't have to fix everything all at once. Just start with one lever, be consistent, let your body catch up. And I'll see you guys in the next one.